result of COVID as of 21st of February. So now we're having 588 people who have died as a result of COVID in this country. Just so you know, today, the 25th, these figures, it's not reflective of what's happening today. What I've just told you is what is a reflection of what happened on the 21st of February. So we don't know the picture of how many people have died as we speak today as a result of COVID-19. But still staying with the vaccines, an advocate for change in the Public Health Act wants a relook at portions which give health officials and government indemnity from liability in respect of injury or adverse effect sustained by a person directly or indirectly after vaccination. My colleague Cyril Dogbe spoke to Ivan Steria, who says a review of the act will engender public confidence and get more people to partake in the COVID-19 vaccination.
Aside fake news mongers, conspiracy theorists and misguided religious fanatics who stand in a country's way of achieving success in national vaccination exercises, there are those who genuinely have a cause for concern. Evan Steria is a victim of polio vaccination in the 80s, which has left him crippled in one leg. Not even the reassuring words of high-profile health professionals would convince him take the COVID-19 jab.
I can tell you for a fact, the single most effective immune booster you can take is a vaccine.
We've conducted several mass vaccination campaigns against many diseases for both children and adults for over 5 decades.
We have not bypassed any safety or efficacy standards that we would normally look out for. So just to assure you that all the things that we have to do to ensure that a vaccine or a medical product is safe, we have done for these 2 vaccines.
He tells me only a medical dictatorship would get him and his children to take the COVID-19 vaccine. And perhaps for good reason.
I was immunized. And after the immunization, I'm still in danger. I'll be walking in town at a rush hour area, and I don't know what will happen to me. I just fall down. I'll just be run over by a car, and people will not understand how I died there. A driver will be jailed wrongly, but it's because I have a disability from a vaccine.
He is, however, quick to add he is neither anti-science nor against the idea of vaccines or vaccinations entirely. He reckons devastating pandemics like COVID-19 would require some sort of intervention that must be vaccines. His beef, the absence of commitment on the part of government to take responsibility for persons who might be adversely affected through such exercises. He refers to the Public Health Act passed in 2012, Act 851, highlighting sections 159 and 172 as disincentive which keeps many, even well-informed individuals from vaccines. Section 159C, where a clinical trial of a drug, herbal medicine product, cosmetic or medical device is authorized, the person conducting the trial shall, before commencing the trial, sign an indemnity in a form determined by the authority indemnifying the authority from liability in respect of an injury or an adverse event which may be sustained by a person or an animal, directly or indirectly, as a result of the conduct of the trial, and which occurs or reveals itself at the time of trial or subsequently. Section 172. A public health official or a designated officer who acts in good faith under Parts 1 to 5 of this Act is immune from prosecution and indemnified from acts performed by that official. It was the absence of such clear responsibility, he said, led him and others in 2015 to halt the planned trial of the Ebola vaccine in Ghana. But it would seem his worries would be allayed when I told him the COVID-19 vaccine exercise under the COVAX program has a no-fault compensation claim for serious side effects.
The state has not been responsible enough. What is the amount? And what will be the degree of injury? There are some injuries that when you get a certain amount can take care of you. There are some injuries you have to depend on your relative or your family for the rest of your life.
He suggests an approach that boosts morale and interest, like is the case in some countries.
Norway says that the state cannot fund the compensations. So what Norway has done is that they've created a fund where every pharmaceutical company in Norway and any foreign pharmaceutical company that's bringing a vaccine or drug into the country contribute towards the fund. So that when somebody gets injured, they go into that fund to take care of injured victims. So there are different avenues that our country can take to make sure that they get the trust of their citizens.
Ghana has taken delivery of its first batch of vaccines, some 600,000 doses. Vaccination is due to start in March, but high levels of misconceptions could derail the country's aim to achieve some 20 million vaccinations by October.
Away from vaccines, let's now focus on education, as officials of the Ghana Education Trust Fund have opened and handed over 2 completed Get Fund basic school classroom block projects